Titled The Calculated Killer's Great Miscalculation, the small town of Maplewood, there lived a man named Reggie Poppins. Tall and thin, sporting a shock of unkempt hair and glasses too large for his narrow face. Reggie was known for two things: his exceptional mathematical prowess and his peculiar obsession with murder mysteries. He had read every Agatha Christie novel more times than anyone was comfortable admitting. Reggie found the idea of being a calculated killer both thrilling and highly impractical. However, he fancied himself a mastermind, albeit a non-lethal one. He considered it an art form, studying how to eliminate his targets, which were primarily mundane items that annoyed him to no end, like the neighbor's massive hedges that blocked his sunlight, or the drip from the kitchen faucet that never seemed to stop. One stormy evening, as he sat in his cluttered home surrounded by books and scattered worksheets, Reggie had an epiphany. Inspired by both his readings and his annoyance at the constant jingle of the ice cream truck that rang through his neighborhood every hot afternoon, he decided that it was time for a final act of extreme math. Armed with a detailed blueprint, an assortment of gadgets borrowed from his uncle's old toolbox, and a heart full of determination and, believe it or not, a few leftover ice cream popsicles for motivation, Reggie ventured out under the cover of darkness. His plan: to put an end to the ice cream truck's ceaseless jingling. Reggie calculated the precise moment when the truck would typically visit their street and set up a series of traps along the route. There were rubber bands stretched so tightly they could launch a pencil into orbit, marbles from his childhood stowed away, and even a concocted ice cream decoy, a lifelike replica made from cardboard and excess paint that he had in his basement. Technically, it was a brilliant plan. The next afternoon arrived with the sun shining brightly and promises of sugary confections from the truck. Reggie hid behind a tree, peeking through the leaves like a demented squirrel, waiting with bated breath. As expected, the clang of the ice cream truck's bell echoed down the street, sending delightful shivers down the spines of children and adults alike. As the truck approached, everything began according to plan. First came the rubber bands, sending an old-fashioned cap gun flying into the air, startling the driver. Then came the marbles, which created a comedic slip-and-slide scenario, sending the ice cream truck's back wheels wheeling off the pavement. But amidst the chaos, the ice cream truck rolled right into Reggie's meticulously placed trap. As the truck tilted dangerously to one side, the driver, a burly man named Gus, who had a surprisingly gentle nature, lost his grip. The open freezer flung its ice cream into the air like a sweet, frosted fireworks display. Reggie watched in horror as the chocolatey projectiles rained down upon him. He had calculated that he would be the victorious master of his environment, not the target of a melting onslaught. With ice cream confections splattering against his clothes and sliding into his shoes, Reggie realized the irony of his predicament. He stood there, covered in a sticky, cold ambush of sprinkles and noggins that dripped off his glasses and adorned his hair with a layer of rainbow coating. The children, who had paused to watch the calamity unfold, burst into laughter at the sight of the self-proclaimed calculated killer turned into an ice cream sundae. Before Reggie could contemplate disappearing into his home, Gus emerged from the wrecked truck, laughing heartily with a tub of popsicles in hand. "Kid, you've got a flair for the dramatic. How about a different method of target practice next time? Want to help me sell ice cream instead?" Reggie couldn't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all. Perhaps this calculated killer gig wasn't his true calling after all. Maybe, just maybe, he could work on his people's skills, starting with selling ice cream rather than crafting elaborate traps. From that day on, Reggie became a beloved feature of the ice cream truck business. And while he never quite rid himself of the desire to plot, he realized that laughter and ice cream were far sweeter than any calculated kill.